everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Spiny Talk, sponsored by X Keys. I'm Miranda.
And I'm Maggie. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. So we have a really fun show for you guys today, but first let's go ahead and dive in with what we're streaming with. Alright, so today we are using our XK40 as well as our XK16 stick. 40 keys just was not enough for me, and with desk space, I needed my stick key.
More buttons. We are running this live stream today with vMix Pro version 23, and I'm trying to catch your comments using vMix Social on the Kindle Fire.
Yep. We've got a PTZ Optics USB camera, and we're also bringing audio in using our Audio Technica mic and with the Behringer.
Awesome.
Alright, so like I said, we have a really good show for you today, but we're kind of going to switch things up just a little bit, so let's go ahead and jump into our first segment. X Keys in the Wild.
Yep, Spiny likes to go on adventures, and he goes out and finds some awesome posts that you guys have been making. So why would somebody want to do this, you'd think? Well, we offer a great warranty extension program. So when you buy a new X Keys, you're going to get this flyer. This is also available on our website. If you post on any of the social platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Amazon, and tag us in a review, we will actually extend a warranty for each platform. So you can actually get, on top of the 1-year repair replace warranty we already include for free, an additional year, so up to 4 years of free warranty. But I think there's other reasons too, huh?
Yes, so that is an awesome feature of it. But we also do an X Keys in the Wild giveaway. So you can submit your X Keys in the Wild pictures to sales@xkeys.com. You can tag us on Facebook or Twitter, even Amazon, I suppose.
Yep.
But what happens is Spiny goes out and he finds these images and picks out the ones to feature in our show. And then after about 3 or 4 shows, we do a giveaway and pick a winner, and you could win $50 worth of free custom acrylic keys, which is a great deal because custom keys are usually minimum of 10 sets, and there's a $50 setup fee. So definitely enter your X Keys in the Wild pictures.
Yeah, and the acrylic keys are really neat. They're printed directly on top, so no legends are necessary. So they're really fancy and shiny, and yeah, so definitely participate.
Yeah, so let's see what Spiny found this week.
All right, it looks like Bruce Rebels has an XK80, and he is utilizing the red and blue backlighting, which is addressable, and he also has some blockers and some larger keys on there, so that's a neat setup. Not sure what he's running, but I like it in the dark.
Yep. This next one is at Coffee Break Languages is their handle, I believe Twitter handle. They're using their XK60 and they have some fun legends on there.
Yeah, they do, and they have it like in a stand or something.
Yeah,
neat.
It's like a little wrist guard on there. That's cool.
And this is going to be, I'm so sorry if I say this name wrong, is it going to be Veli Lascelles, maybe? And that is an XK24 you can see mounted actually with the camera, which is neat. We do sell mounting kits on our website. I don't know if that's one of the arms that we sell, but obviously the XK24 is small enough and compact enough. You can probably find lots of mounts that fit it, so that is really neat.
Yeah.
I like it.
We have one more. This one's actually a video. It's from, let me get the name. Simple Thought Productions. He's using our 128 with his New Tech TriCaster. So take a quick look at this short video.
On like the program row, if I press 1 and start to get some feedback. And a little bit further example of that is I have my audio buttons up here. So I have show audio solid, which is the one that I want on probably 99% of the time. But if I do a right sideline reporter and I press it, turns off this one and it starts flashing the one that I selected. And when I go back to show audio, goes back to solid, turns off the other light. So it's pretty cool that you can actually do some additional work with the macro software and get it to where you can start to get visual feedback on the surface, including going so far as to say on like the program row, if I press 1, illuminate 1, but turn off all the other lights in this row, which is pretty cool for getting visual feedback onto your X keys.
That was cool.
That's awesome. So yeah, those are our entries for this week. Make sure you guys are posting your X keys in the wild, and you might be entered to win some free keys.
Yeah, and if you actually aren't a member of the X keys user group, that is where we do find a lot of those. I don't think I mentioned that. So if you go to our Facebook page, you can see you can request to be a member. It's a great place to talk about X keys, show off your X keys, ask for any advice. Even if you don't have an X keys, we have a lot of great X keys in the wild supporters, I guess. I don't know, advocates. Thank you guys, all of our friends. And like I said, it's a great place to even get tech support. So.
Yep. All right. Well, that brings us to our next segment.
All right. All right, feature of the month. So if you think about it, millions of people within the last 2 months actually have been thrown into this world of live streaming, whether or not be conferencing with different softwares out in the world, but we've actually focused more on Zoom. So we are going to talk about how X keys can be used as a video conferencing keypad for Zoom. And they, a lot of these people have the same problems that live streamers actually have, but might not be as tech savvy as some people are. So there's definitely a need right now for some helpful tools. So
yeah. So overnight, most of the world's population either attending a video conference or they've hosted one. Here to talk about what that means to p.i.Engineering is Michael Hetherington, or as called for the first time, Dr. X Keys. Hello, Michael.
Well, thanks, Miranda and Maggie, for having me on your show.
Yeah.
As you said, everybody is live streaming now, and some of us not very good at it. So this became very real for me at Easter, when for the first time our entire family was at different houses. In the past, we'd all go over to Grandpa's house and have dinner with them, and then we'd have a FaceTime with some of the family that wasn't there. But this time, we couldn't hold the iPad for them. We had to talk Grandpa Jones through setting up a Zoom meeting and attending it, all starting out with a telephone. He's 95 years old. He's a very smart man. He checks his investments and his email every day. But it was still a bit of a challenge to get somebody who's not that computer literate online for our Easter dinner. Another new reality is for me is I'm running an entire company from my house, as you notice. You see, that's I worked very hard to make sure I picked the right room to do this from. And so all my employees are at remote locations, and I got to attend at least 1 or 2 video meetings and audio meetings, conferences a day. And then I'm available all day on Skype. Before this event, I had 1 or 2 video meetings per month, maybe. It was usually a special customer. We'd arranged it in advance, and I was prepared for it. Now it's like anytime during the day. And tomorrow, apparently, we're going to have a Zoom graduation party. So Aunt Sue is ordering pizza for everybody to everybody's house, and we're all going to have dinner together. So I'm not sure how pizza grease will work on the keyboard. So for that reason, I may actually program a foot pedal.
There you go.
That's fun. So we know that X keys is very useful for real-time video production. The question was, how can we help these two groups and provide a product as fast as possible?
Right, and we're always developing new products at p.i.Engineering since the beginning of time. We're always trying to find ways to help people in whatever they're doing. But this time, with the market and the special circumstances, we really had some challenges. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what those are, Michael?
Well, yeah, first of all, we wanted to support those two groups I talked about, sort of the inexperienced or perhaps slightly challenged user, the attendee group with lower computer skills, perhaps. In our case, we didn't have real cognitive problems, but you can imagine somebody who had a memory problem would be even more challenging. The other group is the teacher or the meeting manager like me. I'm suddenly forced to be hosting video conferences. I'm not skilled like Miranda and Maggie are at this. So, and the other major thing we tried to support is we wanted to support the 2 major operating systems, right, sort of automatically. So that was another one of our challenges, is normally we develop for one, and then if we choose to, we go to the other one as well. But this time we want to hit them both at the same time.
Right.
The other was that we wanted to play with the existing hardware, right? The supply chain right now is very difficult to get products to. We wanted to make sure that we could support what was in the customer's house already or what was in the supply chain just essentially with an internet download. So the speed of delivery and to reach the greatest number of users, we sort of felt that we really wanted to make sure that really hardware wasn't new, but just all the functionality and everything we prepared for everybody.
Right. Yep.
And then,
sorry, go ahead, Michael.
it may be set up by a skilled person. At some point, that's true. That will have to be done, but it may need to be left on the doorstep of an unskilled person, and they just need to plug and play. So we really want all the shortcuts built into the device. We wanted a piece of paper that we could leave with them, and that was all a big consideration for us. And the last was tech support for both us and a loved one supporting it. We really wanted it to be easy too. So it's not hugely complex. It uses keyboard shortcuts, but it does a simple job for that.
Yep, absolutely. So, using all of our experience and our assets, like you were just saying, we have actually developed a kit, I guess you want to call it, a utility that you can download for free off of our website, which will actually turn our XK24 into a Zoom video conferencing keyboard. So really neat. We have two versions. We have a host. We also have a participant. And like you said, we are going to work on Windows and we are going to work on Mac. The simple utility does need to run on Windows at first to download it, and then you can just plug it and go right into your Mac, and it'll be onboard memory, which we call hardware mode, if you ever heard us recommend that. So I think we're going to show a screenshot right now of some of the shortcuts in the loading utility.
Well, yeah, before I want to do that, I sort of wanted to talk about what we put into it to make it the reason we could do this so easily. We just want to use simple shortcuts, but those can be stored on the X keys. We've been doing that for 20 years. When we started this in the DOS days, there was only typing, right? So we knew how to do that. The PS2 keyboard was really the only thing. And then eventually USB came along, but we actually stored and always been able to store keystrokes directly in the X keys. A lot of us vMix people and people that have use it built in, we don't even know it has that capability, but it does. And then to support Mac was another one of our challenges, but through keystrokes, it's pretty good. We had a lot of different physical products we could choose from, but we actually just chose the XK24, and because that was such a common one. And I could also use my little XK4 if I wanted. We already had a complete keyboard programming system, so it turned out that to rapidly develop it, we could get that going. We have good engineers. We have in-house programmers, and I really mean in-house. She's down in the family room, and I'm up here in the study. So we could develop that simple utility relatively rapidly. And then we got supporting materials. We have a complete graphics department. Miranda, you are complete. She could do the legends, the PDFs, and a website. And so we could quickly get us going. And then our tech support. They've know everything about X keys and been supporting those for years. But we have a special group that you may not know. We have the Rail Driver product, which is a train simulator game toy. And people that play train simulators, they're often perhaps an older age, and then sometimes their computer skills are relatively low. So we've had a lot of experience in helping those users as well. And then the keys are relegible. Yes, we love to have the acrylic keys for a program like vMix, but if you're just going to make your own little shortcuts, being able to pick off that keypad for your fingernail and put a piece of paper in there is useful. So because of that, we could make a PDF that had all these shortcuts built right into it. So we could quickly get it out there. And I think that was really interesting that we had all those assets in place. Yep. It's really easy to stick a piece of paper under a key. It's not flashy, but it's reliable. You don't have to look down into the key and see what video is on that key. It just works.
Right. Yeah, and so you and I actually worked quite a bit to develop the legend sets, and so that this could easily be distributed by a PDF file. So as you see on the screen here, the squares are scaled to be printed at 100%, and then you can just cut them out with scissors and put them right under there. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, Michael?
Well, sure. We wanted to carefully use both words and icons in this case. So we can say that push the says gallery view, right? I didn't want to have to, what we were doing when we were trying to even do it without a keyboard well, it's like wiggle your mouse over the screen, then go to the little icon on top. There's the big rectangle with three little ones on top of it. It's like, and we tried to get them to click on that. It's not easy to describe an icon sometimes. So by actually making our legends on paper and have both words and icons, it turned out to be a little easier.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And so with the icons, it sort of correlates with what the user sees on the screen, and with the words, we can describe it. We wanted to tie those two together.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep, so we did try to pick shortcuts that would have the most use and work in most situations for the target user. We also tried to pick a set that illustrates both the use of X keys with just keyboard shortcuts, like you said. I mean, because in the end, this really is just an X keys. A lot of the functions on there are things that work in other programs. And so once this utility is downloaded, I have to assume people like my sister, who I'm going to give an X keys to. She's a teacher. She's been using Zoom. She's never used X keys before. She was thinking, oh, maybe I can use that in other programs. Why, yes, you can. So once you get the utility and you download it and you see the process of it and see how easy it is to reprogram your X key, I have to imagine this is going to open the world up for a lot of users that may not have realized how much they need X keys in their life. So. Yep. Michael, can you quickly describe what functions we have in the Zoom participant? I think you know that layout quite well.
Yeah, so we had a participant and a host version, but let's just talk about the participant version. We got three main categories. So the first one at the top there is operating system functions. So we've got start Zoom, which if you program the key on the desktop icon on a Windows system, you push that button and it'll start it right up. On a Mac OS, actually turns out we were able to build that into the programming set. Show desktop is just a convenient on the PC system. It's a Win-D key and Win plus D. It just clears everything off your desktop. So again, if you're trying to talk a user through something, or even for myself, it's like I just want to get everything out of the way so I can find the one icon I need for this moment. So that's just a wonderful key. It toggles. It goes back and forth every time you press it. Volume up and volume down, actually, those are inherent operating system keys as well. And when somebody has their speaker on mute, as we all know in live streaming, right, audio is always a problem. On the other end, they may not be able to hear you. It's like, why can't you hear me? It's because you've got your speakers on mute. How do we tell? Well, just push the audio plus or minus button, and it automatically unmutes it and changes the volume a little bit. But because of that, so okay, hold the audio volume button up until you can hear me, and that works. Actually, Zoom uses the word speaker, so we chose the word audio instead of speaker. They use the word speaker to mean a person speaking. This annoying, tricky English language problem we have.
Makes sense.
The next row is simple shortcuts that are pretty much universal and useful. Copy, paste, undo, and select all. So if you're trying to get a person to get off their email to get the URL they need to paste into Zoom, you can just highlight that and hit copy and move over there, click on the text box, hit paste. It's a little easier than telling them exactly how to do it with right clicking and everything. But in the end, for me, I use copy and paste all day long. I mean, it's one of my favorite keys.
Me too.
Yeah, it seems like Control V and Control C isn't that hard, but it's that much easier if it's just one button and you know where it is.
Yep. For sure.
The next section is the chat area. So I've got show chat, which that brings up the chat window. Again, almost all of the video conferencing and Skype and everything has a chat system, of course. But after that, the other keys are not. They're really just typing. It's the word hello with enter, and what, yes, and enter, and no, and enter. And because of that, it's a one button hit, right? If you have to type it, then you have to hit enter. Yeah, gee, it's not that hard. But I can actually be working away and look over and just click on my Skype or on my chat box and hit that button and delay somebody or whatever I need. In fact, for me, I probably want a just a minute button. So, because you can't walk by my office and see I'm on the phone, but if you're Skyping me. So it's often nice to say, yes, I'm here, but I need to keep going. So those one button chat functions are actually sort of fun. Again, they're just typing.
Absolutely.
And then the next one.
Oh man, I really like this button. Insert emojis. Anyone that knows me knows I love my emojis. I use them a lot to talk, so that's super fun. I love that we have that on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we included an insert emoji key. I mean, it's a fun key. It's probably not mission critical, but in both Windows 10 and Mac operating systems, there's a universal shortcut that brings up the emoji window in chat or email. And again, it works in my email, works in Skype, works in this program, probably a lot of other ones. So after you try it a few times, it gives you sort of a one-button access to the emojis. Actually, again, those of us who just joined the texting world, it's sort of fun for us. For those of you who've been there a long time, I'm sure it's just faster. You can have your favorite emoji ready to go.
Yeah, speaking of favorite emojis, you can actually get a Spiny emoji.
That's so cool.
Love it. And for any of our VMix fans out there, we all know about the bananas. You can even get a banana emoji, so that's super fun. Maybe at some point we can talk about how to program an emoji key. That might be kind of fun.
Can make that happen.
Yeah, and then at the bottom, we placed the standard video conferencing keys. These are the functions you'd actually really be using in most conferencing programs. They're the same. We targeted Zoom for this first round, so we have the shortcut keys are actually programmed for their program, but the functions are very often the same. Raise hand, maybe a little bit unique to Zoom, but we have that for the participant. Show control toolbar, because you have to wiggle your mouse over it and things like that. If you just push that button, it shows up and it's sort of nice. Leave meeting, well, very often in the middle of one of these boring meetings, you just want to get out of there. So that's a quick button. You do have to confirm it so you don't accidentally push it. But the gallery view and speaker view, well, that is one of the ones I want to change between a lot of times. And that, again, was one of the problems of trying to explain how to get to the little 3 squares and big square and all that. If you just push that, it brings up everybody. And, with all these, they're sort of toggle functions. If you don't like it, push it again and see what else. See, it usually goes back. Show people. Well, actually, Zoom calls them show participants. But, of course, if you breathe that to fit on a key, it would be show parts. I sort of felt that'd be inappropriate, so we left people on there.
Good to see.
But in most cases, I try to use the same phraseology as the standard, as the program. In the bottom row, we have the full screen. Everything has a full screen. Have mute mic and start video. Those are probably the biggest ones. Is start and stop video and mute and unmute your mic. And they're just toggle back and forth. So now we could have wrote mute or unmute, but it was just a lot of words. So if it says mute and you're not muted, it'll mute it. If you are muted, it'll unmute it. Pretty obvious. Then the push to talk button is interesting. That's actually just a space bar key. And if you are muted, then it's really good because all of us in broadcast have always had mute to talk microphones. Press to talk microphones. And now the software has that function too. So it's pretty easy to have that. And it's a nice key right there on the bottom.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was a fun tour of our video conferencing X keys.
Yeah, right. So this is our brand new product. We really think this is going to entirely change the world. We're really excited about it and the novelty and everything we have in this product. Yeah.
But isn't this just really our good old X keys pre-programmed like we've been making for the last 20 years?
Well, okay, maybe. But because it is, it's very reliable and it's simple to use and it's ready today. We produced this in about 2 weeks, ready to go. And so we're pretty proud of that.
Yeah, definitely. And, to even make it more accessible, we are planning on having these pre-programmed and ready to go off the shelf. So that way you're not even going to have to worry about downloading utility. You can have it shipped to a loved one, ship it down to your grandpa in Florida that you were talking about. I'm not sure where Patty's dad lives now, but, that way it can just be out of the box. And so that way you don't even need to worry about it. So contactless delivery is available. They'll just leave it on your porch.
Yeah, that's awesome. But wait, there's more. If you order before the end of May and mention that you saw it on Spiny Talk, we're going to give you 10% off. That way, if you like, you can program up your X keys and give it to your sister and get a brand new one for yourself.
Yep,
Good deal.
We actually did also talk to our UK distributor,
Yes.
Keyboard Specialist. They are fully stocked with all of our X keys, and he's going to also honor that. So if you go to his website and you place an order, as long as you use a discount code SpinyTalk, you're also going to get the 10%. So thanks, Ardeep, for participating in that. I think that's really cool. So
Yeah.
there's a little bit of information right there. All right, and one more important thing, as we all know, a lot of us in our world are very well adapted to the live streaming world, but if you're not, make sure you reach out and help people. This is a great way to stay connected, and so I'm really proud that XCs are going to help ease the use of Zoom and any kind of video conferencing to just make life a little easier for you. Right now it's a little rough with hard times, so anything we can do to help, anything you can do to help, anything we can do to help, send, again, tech@xkeys.com, or you can always shoot me an email, sales@xkeys.com, and I will be happy to help.
Yeah.
So thanks.
Well, thanks for having me on your show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. That was a great tour.
It was.
Excited to see how that evolved so quickly. I think it only took us.
See you back at the office someday.
Yeah,
Someday.
hopefully. Hopefully.
Yeah, but if anybody has any questions or anything, please put them in the chat now. We'll get to them. Or if you're watching the replay of this, shoot us an email at sales or tech@xkeys.com.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thanks, Michael. We're going to go into our next segment.
Yeah, let's go ahead and dive right
Bye.
into our
Thanks,
next segment.
bye.
All right, let me... Sorry. All right. That was a great segment there. Let's go into our next segment here. All right, Feel Good Friday, because
Yes.
it is Friday, thank goodness.
Friday, and we want people to feel good instead of watching the sad news. So we have this new segment where we talk about something that made us feel good. And I have a great feel good for this week. So it was sunny out on Monday, and I decided I was going to get my rollerblades out. I haven't got those bad boys out in a long time. Put them on, went to go, and my wheels were rusted. I literally almost biffed it in the driveway, which is another feel-good thing that I didn't. But so I had to figure out how to unstick them. So I found some WD-40 and I sawed off the rust, and so now my rollerblades work. And I went for a stroll, and it was awesome. So I'm feeling really good about that. Definitely
That's
going to use those
fantastic.
today, I think.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
really nice out
it's gonna
today.
happen.
So
Yeah, which brings me to my feel good. It's supposed to be 70s all week, 70s and sunny all weekend here. I'm so excited. It's been rainy and gross, and I need some vitamin D in my life.
yes.
And also, I believe I've mentioned before that I have a lilac tree in my front yard. In the past 3 years, it has not bloomed. There are many purple buds on it, and it's going to bloom and be beautiful, and I can't wait.
One of the perks about being quarantined, you actually get to see the flowers every single day grow, which I really like. So
That's so cool to watch and see.
yeah, for sure. And so we have a lot of comments going on here, and if anyone wants to shout out where they're watching from, that would be fun. Or if you have a feel good, I should have said that earlier, to drop that in the comments. We'd love to hear some positive things. And so bear with me 1 second. I see some people were commenting after Michael's presentation.
Yep.
Kyle's got some questions. I'm just going to add these to the queue, and then I'm going to go to the queue. So just bear with me.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Go back to the
I love that you guys like to comment and ask us questions. It always makes it more fun when we get some interaction.
Thanks
Hi,
for
Kyle.
watching, Kyle. Good to see ya. Looks like our buddy Rudy's out there too. Always love to hear from you guys.
Hey, Rudy.
It is May. We
It's gonna be May.
survived another month. Loved it, Mer. The Justin
had to.
Timberlake saying.
From NSYNC.
Steed's watching. I believe
Hey,
you're in the
Steeds.
UK. Is it sunny again? Because every time we've talked to you the last 3 or 4 times, it's been sunny, which is amazing. Karen, thanks for checking it out.
Karen.
Love it. And this is cute because I don't think a lot of people noticed that. So Captain Crunch really appreciates the headset on Spiny. That's all Mer and her creativity. So I'm really glad you noticed that. And
Just thought it was fitting.
Adorbs.
Thanks, Captain Crunch.
Alexis is here.
Hey, Alexis.
She's in sunny Okemos, I have to assume.
I hope it's sunny there, too.
Yep. Dan says, hey, everybody. Hey, Dan.
Hey, Dan.
Thanks for holding down the fort at PI.
Yes.
Getting some love for your intro screens, Mer.
Thanks.
They are super fun. The Feel Good Friday, too. If anyone noticed, we do have some special guests in there. I don't know if anyone caught that. Next time it's up, you'll have to see who's also in there with us. I assume this was the Xyz in the wild. That was a really cool base. I'm not really sure. It looks like they custom built that. I know we don't sell anything like that, but that's kudos to him.
Yeah, it looked like it had some foam at the bottom for like a wrist guard, which was kind of cool. Or
Yes.
not guard, but
He's
whatever.
never seen that, and he did hear a kitty. Yes. Miko decided he was going to yell for half that stream, so I really hope that you guys were distracted.
Yeah.
Live streaming from the basement has had a little bit of challenges. The most has really just been keeping them quiet. So
Yeah.
They've been usually pretty well behaved. This is the first day Chip's not down here.
No, he's over it.
He's got to be in the window. It's sunny out. He's
There-
probably looking at the birds.
He's found all the birds. We put new bird seed out, so we've had a lot of action out there for him.
Yesterday, I noticed that her and I were the ones watching the birds in the window, and the cats were sleeping. So we're to that point right now. So, hey, Curtis. Thanks for
Curtis.
watching. Gotta love it. Let's see. Oh, I know. I noticed that too, Captain Crunch. I noticed that. So, kudos on the office, Dr. X Keys.
Yes.
I could see a few things that were placed in there in case
Yep.
anyone judges your
It
setup.
was a good setup.
Yes, Kathleen, I know. Isn't that cool when you see people's setups? I think that's so neat.
Yep.
And that is one of my favorite things about Xyz in the wild, honestly, is just being able to be like, I would have never thought to do that. Like, even with the XK24 mounted on the camera,
Look, yeah, next
I
to
mean,
that.
you'd think I would have thought of that, but I didn't. So, I mean, on the camera, but not right out front. Right out front, that makes way more
Right.
sense. So, I already did that one. Hi, Xyz Kitty. Yep, Miko's getting some love.
He's
Yes, he
hanging
wanted to be the star.
out. Always. He's the diva.
Yes, XK24 is a great size, Dan.
Yeah.
For sure. And, like we were saying earlier, that utility is going to reprogram that into hardware mode.
Yep.
But you can always unprogram any key on there and reprogram it to what you want. I mean, our X keys can work in so many different softwares on Windows and on Mac.
Yeah.
Once the light goes on, I did miss going to the trade shows this year because I always love introducing these to new people that may not realize how many shortcuts are actually in their life. If you're using a computer on a day-to-day basis with software, I can guarantee you there are so many shortcuts.
Yeah,
So,
and you can actually download that utility right now.
There you go.
You go right to our website, and you'll have all 4 different options on there, and there's the URL. If you just go to the search bar and search Zoom, it's gonna come up. So you got, the 2 host layouts and the 2 participant layouts for Mac and PC.
and I think we mentioned we do have the colored version and the black and white version for the
Yes.
Legends. So if you just have a black and white printer, no big deal. We're whip that up for you.
Yep.
It looks like my sister's watching.
Hey,
So
Steph.
Steph was someone I called out in the show. She is a teacher who is obviously not in the classroom right now, and I know she's been using Zoom a lot for her students. And I can imagine it was a little bit like, whoa, when you're trying to have 20 kids in a classroom, a virtual set, and you're not used to that. So we will be getting that to you soon. We're going to load one up for you and dive
I already
into X
have
keys.
it loaded up. Let me see. I've got so many
she's got-
inputs today.
There you go, Steph.
I already have it all loaded up for you.
This guy's coming to you.
Glamour shot. Shaky
Yes.
glamour shot. Sorry.
Yes. Oh, it looks like Amber's watching. Hey! Amber used to work for X Keys. She lives out on the West Coast now.
That's
so,
awesome.
yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I'm not sure if you guys are using Zoom at all in your world. I have to imagine you might be, or some kind of video conferencing. Of course, you probably already know X Keys working it, but thanks for checking it out today.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what Steph has to say.
I think teaching, as we know, is going to have no choice but to quickly adapt. I've been talking about X Keys for years, since I job shadowed Maggie back when I was in 8th grade, but now I'll be preaching X Keys. Thank you, guys. Absolutely.
Yes.
We're excited to give you this and have you try it out.
Gosh, I forgot you job shadowed us. It was when I was in Dan's office, too. It
Oh,
was when I
man.
first started. That was a
May have
long
been
time
a while ago.
All right, let's see, Kyle. After you play this,
After you apply this, will the XK24 still work with vMix shortcuts, or do you have to reset the XK24 if so? So this is actually going to program in hardware mode, so you won't need Macroworks running in the background.
Right.
So you should be able to still have your vMix shortcuts working with it.
okay.
And if you do want to reprogram the XK24 for anything, aside from vMix, you want to program it in vMix.
Right.
But for anything else, all you have to do is just download Macworks 3.1 from our website and just reprogram it in there on each key.
Yep. And it looks like Steedy Cam is giving Michael a shout out. Michael, I assume you're still watching. Steed says hello.
Awesome.
Curtis is giving us some love. Awesome Zoom integration. Yes, thank you.
Thank
We
you,
are
Curtis.
very excited about
Yeah,
that.
it should be really good.
Yeah, for sure.
We're excited to hear feedback on this, so please go and download that, check it out, and let us know what you think.
All right, let's see. There's some other ones. Lilacs smell so good. Yes,
I know.
they do. I'm so excited about that.
The first year I moved in, they bloomed, and then they never bloomed again, and I was really sad.
But we're feeling good. It's going to happen.
It
There's
is.
buds
There's
out
so
there.
many.
It's so exciting. So looks like we have someone up in Canada. Thank you for
Hey,
watching. It's not
thanks.
too far from us over in
No.
Ontario. Oh my goodness. It is sunny again. I don't know what's happening.
I don't know.
That's amazing, Martin. I'm so happy. Sun always makes you
rained
feel
yesterday, though. It rained here, too.
good. See, Kyle is out in Connecticut. I thought you were
Nice.
on the East Coast. Hopefully you'll be getting some sun there.
Awesome.
Looks like Alexa has a feel good.
Feel Good Friday. Finally bought some patio furniture for my deck so I can enjoy the sun. Also, hashtag bring back the beans.
Seriously, bring back the beans.
Bring back the beans.
If anyone wants something to do on Thursday nights here in the States at 8 p.m., we've been doing petrol prices
Yep.
with Tim from BMix. And so Bring Back the Beans was a hot topic last night. If anyone from Old Nation is watching, we are extremely disappointed about the fried green beans being taken off the menu.
We still love you guys.
We still
We're
love
just
you.
disappointed.
We're dealing with it.
Yep.
So. But yeah, BMix. Petrol
Yeah,
prices.
8 p.m. Thursday.
Oh, Mayday. Yes. Find a flower, maybe eat it. Okay. Well, make sure it is not a poisonous flower.
I'm gonna leave that one to you, Dan.
You know.
With my luck, I'd end up eating a poisonous one.
Looks like Big Shoes washing. How's it going,
Hey.
man? And he wants a pillow. You know,
Spiny pillow.
it does kind of look like a
I
pillow.
know.
We also have the Photoshop X's up here. Spiny's still really excited about that, so he
Yep.
holds on to it. And you can see
pretty.
the blue backlighting. It's all lit up, so... Our studio down here.
We're trying to
you know,
fancy it up a bit.
It's just the way it's gonna be. It's just the way
There's
it's
not
gonna be.
many other options in this house of where we could
Yep.
sit and do this without the cats completely destroying how we're doing it. So
So,
this is what we got.
yeah.
but-
So thanks for watching, everybody. I
Yeah.
love having so much action in here. It really makes me feel like we are connected. I know that Michigan is still going to be on some kind of lockdown, I think, until the end of May, which I'm very happy about because I want everyone to stay safe. So
Yep.
again, using X keys while you're live streaming is going to take away a lot of the stress, even if you're not using it in Zoom. Like I've said, Mer is using our 40 key in vMix. vMix has fully integrated all of our X keys, and you can actually get a free trial of vMix if you want to test it out.
Yeah.
So,
Actually,
yeah.
using 2 X keys
There
here.
you go.
Got the 40 key. Oh, this is gonna be shaky. I should have done this before.
Tiny Spiny.
Got the 40 key as well as the stick. And the stick, I did not do anything. Focus. I didn't do anything fancy with. I just wrote down my input numbers and I drew some really bad arrows on there for my pictures.
Hey,
But-
that's what's great about the legends,
Right.
though.
And like on this one, I'm using our broadcast key kit and some of our relegible keys, the colored ones, down there at the bottom. So you can mix and match, make it what you want.
Yep. So those acrylic keys, the broadcast key set, those are some of the ones you can win if you participate in the X keys in the wild.
Yeah.
The stick key was so funny yesterday. Like I said, we've been here for almost 2 months now, so we literally have X keys everywhere.
Everywhere.
I have big
The big
ones
guy.
by my feet. I have foot pedals. I have an 80 key down here. I have a switch interface. So she was like, I need some more buttons. And I'm like, Mer, hello.
know.
We're the X keys people. And so I'm like, I think I have a stick out here. And so that's what's great about the long skinny ones that we have. You can slide them in just about everywhere.
Yeah, it's the perfect space
yeah.
for it because I really don't. I mean, we've got 3 TV trays set up here.
Yep.
We're just making it work with what we got. So
Simple stream.
simple streaming.
Yeah.
Streaming simple.
Streaming simple streaming. So
Exactly.
doing what we can. So, I think that might be all
I think
the chats today.
If anybody hasn't already, please go. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like our video and subscribe. I'll get rid of
double
tiny
Spiny.
Spiny there. Or if you are on Facebook, please also follow us on Facebook. But as well, please go to YouTube and subscribe to us. It is my goal, my mission. By the end of this year, I want to hit 1,000 subscribers. We're not far off, but
far.
I think we can do it.
Ooh, and if you're around next week, give them a
yeah.
sneak peek.
Sneak peek.
A sneak talk.
Say I didn't prepare
No peek,
any
just
peek.
a talk.
All right, so we actually have a really cool show for you guys next week. So as most of you know, the NFL draft was last week, right?
I don't even know what day it is. It was just recently.
It was
It had to have
recent.
been last week.
And I was on Twitter browsing everything, and we found a guy that was